President, I would thank the senator from Alaska. I mean, I'm certainly tired of hearing about Deflategate. I don't know if her and I bantering on the floor can keep the focus on the real talent of the football team and the individuals, but I certainly want to say that she has proven that she is a true 12, and that's important to us in the Northwest, so thank you for your comments. And we're here today to continue the debate on the Keystone pipeline, and I see my colleague is here from Vermont who probably wants to give comments to his amendments, and we are going to hopefully be voting later today on the various amendment proposals that we discussed yesterday and talking to members about other amendments that they would like to see on this legislation. I want to draw focus, though, this morning, just for a few minutes before I turn it over to Senator Sanders to speak to his amendment, about the fact that this process is incredibly important in the United States of America, this debate, this discussion, this protection of environmental issues, of property rights, of environmental laws. And I say that because I want to submit for the record two news articles that just came out today, one entitled "Montana Oil Spill Renews Worries Over Safety of Old Pipelines," and another story that is headlined "Cleanup Underway for Nearly 3 Million Gallon Saltwater Spill in North Dakota." The reason I'm bringing that up is as we are sitting here today discussing, whether we're going to override current environmental law and give a special carve-out exemptions to a foreign company to basically build a pipeline through the United States of America, the fundamental question in my mind is what's the hurry in giving them exemptions to these various laws as a way to get the pipeline built. These are things that United States businesses don't get. They don't get these exemptions, either what's been granted through this process, and they certainly don't get the U.S. Senate voting for them to basically override the president's authority to make sure that there is, or I should say, to pass a bill that basically would prohibit the president from using his authority on what is in the national interest. So to me, the Montana spill that is, very close to the Yellowstone River is really about our current pipeline and whether we have the right safety provisions in place. So if anything, to me, we should be discussing what we can do to further pipeline safety in the United States of America, not let a foreign company roll back existing U.S. laws on environmental issues that they should be complying with. And the fact that this is such a beautiful part of our country, and that, as this story shows, that it crosses 20 miles upstream from the popular Pine Line spill, are all issues that we should be really thinking about. I get that there has been an explosion of both tar sands and Bakken oil. The question is not, are we going to rush to try to help these companies override rules? The question is whether they comply with rules and whether the United States of America has enough in place to make sure the safety and security of our citizens are being protected as this new opportunity and explosion of product is occurring. I can say for my perspective in my state, I've heard from every city council practically in the state about how they want new safety regulations for oil train transport, something that they are very concerned about given the explosions that have happened on oil rail cars. And again, if this particular issue, I know my colleague from North Dakota thinks that somehow this alleviates the Northwest from having trains through there. I assure him it doesn't. So we'll still have concerns about the safety of our citizens from rail. But we shouldn't now be trying to exempt a foreign company from complying with U.S. laws. We should be saying they should follow the rules. And in the meantime, we should be asking the NTSB, we should be asking our agencies whether there is enough safety in place given the large amount of crude that is now moving and the issues that we have seen. There's nothing more important to me than protecting farmers and landowners to make sure that they actually are dealt with fairly, and to make sure that things like clean water are protected. And so I don't, just because the discussion has been going on for a long time doesn't mean that we should overrule existing environmental laws and exempt a foreign company from complying with it. I hope that this company will stop trying to have it both ways, only negotiate with people on their bad ideas about where this pipeline should go, because they can try to get something through the United States Senate. I would rather them follow the rules all the way through the process. So with that, I will yield the floor, and I see my colleague from Vermont is here to discuss his amendment.